guys, so you saw a while back we did a wire tuck on the passenger, or excuse me, on the driver's side of the 92 LX, and did a bunch of live streams, had some pictures, all that stuff up. Today we are going to tackle the passenger side, which if you've ever done this job before, it's quite a bit easier. I mean, there's still some stuff involved with it, but it's definitely a lot easier than the driver's side is. So we're going to take you through step by step on how to do this wire tuck and how to clean it up, make it look a little bit better, but without, doing any type of major work. Right now what we're doing is just cleaning things up. We're not filling any holes, we're not doing any welding, nothing like that. But what we are doing is making it look better. We're doing it, in the garage, on the cheap. This is going to cost us nothing but, some time in the garage. So it's a good project. It makes the car look 100% better, and it's just something that you can do on a Saturday afternoon that won't cost you anything, and makes your Fox look better. So here we go. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going to do this wire tuck on the passenger side here. We're going to clean this whole area up. So very first thing we need to do before anything else, we're going to have to get the car in the air and get the wheel off and get the inner fender liner out. So like I said, you got to get in this inner fender liner. To do that, got to take the wheel off. Next step we're going to do, we're going to get this inner fender liner out. And let me get this wheel out of the way. The inner fender liner has these little pop through little Christmas tree things. All you do is just go in behind them and pop them out. And then you've got screws that run all along here. There's about 5 total of them. Once you get all those out, just go ahead and pop that out. Alright guys, so like I said, we're going in with this here. We're going to pull these out. That's what holds them on the inside. Like I said, just these little things here, they just push through there and hold it on. No big deal. Alright, as you can see, it's out. There's really no real scientific way to do this. You just got to wrestle it out, and they can be kind of a pain sometimes, especially if they've never been out. But we got that out of the way. Now, you get all the access to your inner fender. These one got your sound deadening, so 24-year-old stuff. Now, what we're about to do is move to the top side now. What we got to do, we're going to take this cold air intake off, get everything out of the way so we can start unhooking all the wires and start redirecting them. Alright, so we got the cold air out of the way. Now I've got all these wires right here totally exposed. It's time to unhook them so we can get everything rerouted. Now when you do this, pay very, very close attention to what you've got, okay? Don't go and forget everything. Because if you do that, then you're going to try to go back with the wires and you're not going to know where they go. Obviously this is the mass air harness. You got your 2 relays here. It's not very complicated, but the main thing is just don't forget. All right. First thing I'm going to do, take these 2 relays off the firewall, little 7mm bolts. Don't lose your little screws. You're going to be reusing these on the inside. Essentially that's all we're doing. Just taking everything from this side of the panel, putting it on the inside of the panel. Plenty of room in there. All of it will be covered and protected when we put the shield back on. Full. Alright. Then you're also going to have these little connectors that hold the wiring up and out of the way. So you just stick a little thing in there, pop those out. Right now all we're doing is getting this harness loose so we can pick it up and see what it's going to take to get it moved. Right now this harness is pretty good. And then you've also got these little things that stick in the frame rail. Same deal as these. They're just push in, pop out. More back here. Do your best not to scratch it because obviously this is all going to be bare. You don't want it to look too bad until you can get back in here and paint it. Go ahead and disconnect this. Push that up out of the way. Make a little progress here. These you just push down, unhook. Now we've got this whole harness unhooked. Push that out. Now this is the main harness. It's got your relays, mass air, all that good stuff. This is the one we're going to run in this way. Excuse me. Now, these harnesses for the headlights and everything else, we're going to come through this hole and run them back so that they can meet inside. So as you can see down here, these come from the front, the headlights, everything like that. So instead of them coming out and running on this fender apron, they're going to go in this hole through here and into the fender well. Now this harness, this is for your alternator. Now Project Road Warrior's got a 130 amp alternator upgrade, so your harness might look a little different. But instead of having this laying right here going to the alternator, we're coming back through this hole, and then it's going to kind of snake underneath the cold air intake, so you won't see it running all this way, but it will be coming underneath the cold air. Won't see it. It'll be nice and out of the way. So we've got the harnesses laid up. They're out of the way, so I know we've pretty much got everything taken care of. What I'm going to do now, clean this up real good, hit it with some quick detailer or something, make the paint look good. 9 times out of 10, if your car's in decent shape, it'll shine up pretty good. It's still going to have scratches and stuff, but the idea right now is cleanliness, so that's what we're doing. Alright guys, so we're making some progress here. First I want to show you this. This is part of your headlight harness right here. As you can see, they're through that little hole. They're snaking around and they come up in the inside of the inner fender. Okay? Right down in there. Good to go. Those wires are hidden. Now, if you look here, this whole area is empty. Don't mind the little relays. I've just got the relays sitting here. They're going to go inside. Okay? So as you can see, that's a mass air meter plug. So, how did we do that? Because that harness used to run right here. Now, what I did is I ran that entire harness through this tiny little hole. Now you're going to look at it and you're going to say there's no way that's coming out of there. But it did. It takes a little time. The best way to do this is first put one relay through, then put the other relay plug through. They're a big square. They're kind of difficult to do. But you just got to take your time and get it through there. So as you can see, everything is nice and clean. Looking good. Clean your area up, make it look pretty, all that. Now we're going to go up to the underside. You're going to see what I'm working with here. Inside the fender, I've got these hanging up here because I'm about to start making my connections. This is the hole we were looking at from the inside. I did not have to make that hole bigger. Yeah, it was tight, but it all came through. Here's your mass air harness right here, dangling down, ready to make some connections. Now, if you go up towards the front, you can see the alternator harness, you can see the headlight harnesses, all those are snaked down, ready to go. So we're at a point right now where we've got part of the starter harness right here. It's not long enough. On the inside, the harness will not reach. So this is where I'm going to have to peel this back a little bit and extend this harness because I don't want this coming up through here. That pretty much defeats everything we did. So before you go getting all scared, all you're doing is extending some wires. What I did, made these right here, all the same length, just put end connectors on it. All we're doing is we're going to take this end off, extend it, put the end back on. There's nothing to it. Just clip the wires. I've already got these made up. Got your butt connectors. I'll put some heat shrink over them, lume them up. You'll never be able to tell it was done. And that way this harness is not running through our nice clean little area. So I'm going to get busy doing this. And we should start being able to button this all up and put it all back together and see what it looks like when we're done. Alright guys, so this is where we're at right here. You see the harness? It just had this tape around the top. I just cut this off, peeled back the wire loom. Okay? So now I've got these wires exposed. Now, the trick to doing this is you need to leave yourself plenty of room on this end so that you can get in here and splice it and you have enough wire to work with. So make sure you leave yourself a good 3 to 4 inches. We got plenty to work with here, so it's not going to be a big deal. And we're just going to cut them off right there. And I'm going to add our wires. Again, don't get scared. It's not a big deal. As you can see, all the wires are color coded. So all you're going to do is put them back together. Now one thing you can do, if you're really scared of this, because some of these wires do look similar, do one at a time. That way you don't mix them up. Cut one wire, extend it. Cut the next wire, extend it, and so on. That way you know that you're not going to get confused when everything is going back together. Because you can see they're different colors with different tracers, but as old as the wires get and dusty as they get, sometimes they can look similar. So if you're really nervous about doing this, just do one at a time. That way you're not going to get mixed up. Alright guys, so we're pretty much getting towards the end of this. Already made that long extension harness. It's plenty long. Got the wire secured up here along the frame rail. Nothing scientific, just use a zip tie. Gonna zip tie these up right here, like so. All you're trying to do is get them out of the way. It doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, all the wires are protected with the looms and everything like that. So, and once this splash shield is in here, you're not going to see it anyway. So, don't take a bunch of time, you know, trying to make it all beautiful and pretty, because nobody's going to see it. You know, this isn't a scientific job. You're just trying to get these hidden and out of the way. They're plenty protected. They're still doing their job. They're just not in the line of sight, you know, making your engine bay look ugly. So, what I'm about to do, finish hanging these up here, like so. Shoot the mass air harness right through the hole, and we're going to start putting this thing back together. Alright guys, so I think we're pretty much wrapped this thing up. About 3 to 4 hours into it, minus having to run and get some wires and stuff like that. But as you can see, everything's nice and clean. Now there is one thing I'm not happy about, and that's this alternator harness. I'm going to move that. I'm going to run it along the frame rail. But for now, I wanted to kind of get it back together so you can see how we're looking. All the wires are gone. Everything looks 100% better. Just more cleaned up. And very impressed with the final results. You know, every little bit helps to clean it up, make the car look better, and you know, impress people when you open the hood up. And so we're excited, and everything's looking good. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, like, whatever, ask any questions you want. I'm also going to be having a write-up on the website as well, and I'm going to detail it with pictures and go step by step to help you out, get you through this project as well. But like I said, you know, fresh and clean, looking good. I'm hot and sweaty, but we did work today, so we're going to be on to the next project. Catch you later.